PT.2 Discover the incredible healing by a homeless girl accused of witchcraft. What followed changed everything. In the heart of Maple Street, where the once bustling shops now wear a coat of dust and despair, 14-year-old Lily stood strong against the tide of judgment. Her tangles of hair danced in the wind like swaying weeds, and her heart beat bravely as whispers echoed about her, calling her a witch. Just yesterday, she decoaxed the first blooms from a frostbitten vine, as vibrant as her spirit. But today, those same colorful petals turned into chains binding her to fear instead of freedom. As autumn leaves fell, the laughter of children faded, replaced by the anxious murmurs of parents gripping their children tighter. The old diner on the corner, once filled with warmth and smiles, now sat empty and cold. The desperation in the air felt sharp, cutting into the community as they fought against their own sinking hopes. And yet, here was Lily, a flicker of life in a dreary world, seemingly drawing strength from the very earth beneath her feet. "Have you heard?" a woman huddled in the grocery store's weak light whispered. "That girl with the sick animals and wilting plants, they say she's got a dark gift." The other shoppers nodded, casting sidelong glances at Lily as she passed, a girl with the wild spirit of nature itself. But Tom, the local youth pastor with the gentle heart of a healer, saw more than the rumors. The values his grandfather taught him glimmered in his mind, values of compassion, love, and understanding. He knew it wasn't the girl who was sick, it was the town, steeped in prejudice and fear. He felt it in his bones that Lily was more than they realized, but as parents' brewing anger pointed fingers and whispered fears, he had to choose sides. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As winter loomed, tensions swirled like the cold wind around them. A boy down the street took ill, and parents narrowed their eyes in uneasy silence. Fingers pointed at Lily, accusing her of casting a curse upon them. Her heart squeezed painfully in her chest. This was not what she wanted. And yet, there was still hope. As she wandered to the local park, she knelt beside a dying tree, her hands gently cradling the earth, pulling from it what life she could. A miraculous bloom erupted, breaking through the layers of frost. In that moment, her connection with nature revealed its power, showcasing beauty in a world intent on casting shadows. But as Tom prepared to defend her against the swelling storm of hostility, the ground shifted beneath them. He became the voice for Lily, a champion for compassion amid echoes of prejudice, yearning for the community to find strength in understanding. As the gathering storm of townsfolk approached, an energy crackled in the air, buried fears bubbling to the surface. Would they see Lily's healing spirit, or would they clutch their biases as tightly as they held their children? The stage was set, the moment hung heavy with tension. And so, with arms crossed and hearts full yet heavy, they stood on the brink of judgment. Would the truth of resilience prevail, or would fear slither through the cracks, devastating everything? The facade of safety began to crack, and with it, questions lingered, leaving whispers in their wake. Could their understanding grow beyond fear, or would the town's history of mistrust drag them further into darkness? The cold air stung their faces as the townsfolk gathered, an unyielding wave of suspicion cresting in the dim light of early evening. Muffled voices rose and mingled in a cacophony of outrage. Lily's heart raced, and she glanced at Tom, who stood firm like a lighthouse against the oncoming storm. "Lily," he called, beckoning her closer, his voice calm but urgent. "You don't have to face this alone." Her spirit felt torn, one part resolute, the other engulfed by fear. Here was a moment that asked her to choose, step into the light of advocacy or embrace the shadows of silenced anguish. Around them, people shifted restlessly, eyes darting from one face to another, searching for confirmation or courage to follow. "What do we even know about her?" a man shouted, his voice laced with doubt. What if she's the cause of our troubles? Look at Jared. Sick because of her. Lily felt the heat of the crowd's hostility start to engulf her, like flames licking at the edges of her heart. She had only wanted to heal. She had only wanted to help. It's wrong to blame her. Tom's voice broke through like a tender hand on a trembling shoulder. The true darkness is our fear, not this girl who brings life where others see death. The murmurs rippled through the crowd, a spark of realization flickering against the cold, hard reality. A few glanced sideways, exchanging looks of uncertainty. Could the boy's illness really be pinned on Lily? Or were they just looking for a scapegoat to channel their own insecurities and hopelessness? Lily took a deep breath, the sweetness of the earth she had touched still lingering on her fingers. She stepped forward, each step feeling like a tiny revolution against the weight of condemnation pressing around her. I'm not a witch, she said, her voice steady yet soft. I can help if you let me. I've healed plants and animals, and I only want to heal. The gasp that followed was palpable, even the wind fell silent for a moment. A little girl in the front of the crowd, clutching a battered toy, lifted her head, searching Lily's face for truth. Then why is everyone saying you're hurting people? The girl whispered, so small amidst the roaring crowd. Tears sprang to Lily's eyes. Sometimes, healing is misunderstood, she replied, her voice trembling yet resolute. I see what's broken, and I try. But I can't do it alone. The townsfolk squared their shoulders. A few stepped forward, heads shaking but more from confusion than determination. Lily saw the battle within them, a tussle between fear and empathy playing out in real time. Tom took a step to his side, his hand resting on a nearby tree, leaning into its solidity as he adjusted his gaze on Lily. Maybe it's time for all of us to listen, he urged. To let go of the fear that's tearing at us like a rabid beast. Together, we can face the truth. A young man stepped from the back, voice rough like gravel. What if she's lying? Then we can figure it out together, Tom urged. But let us not build walls against someone who's only trying to help. An uneasy murmur swept through the crowd as they glanced at each other, reality dawning slowly like a hesitant sunrise. It was a long moment before someone else chimed in, voice barely above a whisper, what do we have to lose? Those words hung in the air, a challenge echoing throughout Maple Street. Lily's heart pounded as she sensed at the stirring of hope mingling with doubt, a chance for redemption brewing in the chill. But beneath the surface, she felt a deeper worry, a seed of fear that whispered what could happen if they chose to reject her. It had always been easier for towns to turn against the oddities rather than embrace them. With bated breath, Lily held on to that growing hope as the tide shifted among the crowd, uncertain but willing. Would they choose trust, or would history repeat itself, locking them all behind the walls of fear? Silence loomed heavy as hearts weighed in the balance, teetering between the warmth of possible understanding and the cold grip of prejudice. An echo faded from the distance. But what happens if we fail? A voice trembled in the back, lingering like smoke, hinting at consequences that hung thick in the air. Lily's heart sank at the weight of that question. What if they failed? The thought settled heavily in her stomach like a stone. The whispers grew louder, and dread swept through the crowd like a chilling gust of wind. Faces turned away, brows furrowed as doubt festered in unspoken corners. Yet, a flicker of determination ignited within her. She was so tired of fear defining their lives. Could they not see that their panic fed the darkness they so feared? Failure is part of the journey, she urged, her voice louder now, directed at the young man challenging her. But isn't what we fear worse than taking a chance? Let us discover the truth together. The crowd shifted, uncertainty twisting in the air. Some voices rose in agreement, while others drummed up anger and mistrust. With every passing moment, the tension thickened. Tell us what you know. A woman stepped forward, her tone softer now, a hint of vulnerability threaded through it. We want to believe but our hearts are heavy. Lily swallowed hard. "I've felt that weight too," she confessed, "but healing is not just about fixing what's broken, it's about facing what makes us whole." The townsfolk's tense expressions softened slightly, their grip on suspicion wavering. She noticed a few heads nodding, but still, mistrust lingered like a stubborn fog. "Show us," a brave voice called out, emerging from the crowd. It was the young girl with the toy, her eyes wide with hope. "Show us how you heal." A spark of courage ignited inside Lily. She took a deep breath and looked over the people surrounding her, searching for an opportunity to turn their fear into faith. "All right," she said, her heart racing. "But I will need a volunteer." Tom stepped forward, lifting his chin defiantly as he met the gaze of the crowd. "I'll do it. I trust her." A collective gasp swept through the townsfolk like the wind rustling leaves. Would they really allow this? "Tom, are you sure?" Lily asked, her eyes filled with concern. "I believe in you, Lily," he replied, his voice steady. "Let us show them what you can do." Confidently, Lily directed Tom to sit on a nearby log, the setting sun casting a warm glow around him. She knelt beside him, feeling the earth vibrate alive beneath her palms. "Everyone," she called, "I need you to watch. Healing isn't magic, it's connection. It's about understanding pain and knowing how to mend." With her hands over Tom's, she began to chant softly, invoking the energies she felt pulse through the air. The crowd fell silent, entranced by the scene unfolding before them. A quiet warmth spread from her hands into Tom, and she could see the tension in his body start to loosen. His frown eased into a restful expression as Lily concentrated, pooling all her strength into their connection. The whispers of skepticism gave way to awe, as the townsfolk leaned forward, eyes wide, hopeful hearts beating louder than their fears. But then, just as the atmosphere began to shift, a harsh voice called out from the back, shattering the fragile tranquility. "What are you doing? That's not how it works. You're only pretending." Lily's heart skipped a beat. Her focus broke, and a wave of doubt crashed over the crowd again. She glanced at Tom, their connection faltering for just a moment. "Trust me," he urged, his eyes blazing with faith. But did anyone else? With the winds of change fluttering in the space around them, Lily stood at a crossroads once more. Could she pull them back from the brink of doubt, or was the darkness too deeply rooted? The outcome loomed just out of reach, heavy with potential. But as she locked eyes with that little girl, hope sparked anew. "Please," Lily summoned all her courage, "let go of your fear just for a moment." Would they choose to trust her once and for all? Or would they let doubt take the reins, forever shrouding them in darkness? "Just for a moment," Lily echoed, her voice trembling but firm, threading through the silence that had taken hold of the crowd. She could sense the tension in the air, fear clung to the townsfolk like a heavy fog. All their earlier hope teetered on the edge of a knife, and she felt as if she were balancing it with bare hands. "Tom needs your support," she pleaded, looking from face to face. "Believe in his bravery. Believe in a chance for something greater." The young girl with the toy glanced up at her mother, her little face scrunching with confusion. "Mommy, can't we just trust her?" she asked softly, the innocence of her question touching something deep within the crowd. A child's belief, Lily thought, is often clearer than that of adults. Tom, completely relaxed now, was pulsing warmth into Lily's hands. She could sense the energy building between them, so potent that the spaces around them began to shimmer. But the harsh voice rang out again, this time sharper. "Don't be fooled. She has no power, she's just a girl." Lily felt the weight of the words crash upon her, but inside her, she refused to crumble. "What is magic if not the belief that we hold?" she shot back, her tone resonating with urgency. "Healing is a choice. Our togetherness is a choice. I can only do this if you lend your faith." The murmurs rustled like leaves caught in a gust, tugging at old wounds as many wrestled with their disbelief. Yet amidst the knot of fear, a few voices cried out, "Let us trust her. Let us believe." Those gentle affirmations stoked a fire within her, unfamiliar yet warming. With renewed energy, she turned back to Tom. "Now, I want you to relax completely. Just feel my hands. Let your heart open." In that very moment, a profound silence enveloped them, thick beads of anticipation hanging in the air. She returned her focus, feeling the heartbeat under her fingertips like a soft drum. Together, they were weaving something holy from the weaves of pain and hope. As she chanted, a soft golden light began to glow around their hands, illuminating Tom's face in a gentle embrace. She could see the skepticism in some fading, receding like shadows in the dawn. With every syllable spoken, she perceived the threads of fear lifting, transforming into strands of fragile hope. But then came the scorn. "Look. It's just a trick." The voice was louder now, charged with bile. Suddenly, the golden hue dimmed. Fear seeped back in, pulling those who had dared to believe into its grasp. Lily's heart raced. This was more than just Tom's healing, it was a battle for the soul of the entire crowd. "Tom," she gasped, "stay with me. Focus on the light." "I'm here, Lily." He shouted, his eyes locked onto hers. Desperation flooded her. "Everyone, see our connection. This is real. Feel it, see it." In that moment, she sensed the shift. A few determined figures stepped forward, drawn closer by the light that still pulsed between them. "I believe." One called out, stepping into the circle of energy as if unbound by their doubt. Then another. The crowd stirred, hesitance turning into curiosity, curiosity running wild like a sacred flame. But the harsh voice still echoed like a thunderclap, "Don't be deceived. You will regret this." As tension gripped the air, an unexpected voice rang louder than all others. "I trust you, Lily. Show them." It was the little girl again, eyes gleaming like stars. Lily locked her gaze on the innocent and bright, and in that moment, depth and clarity coursed through her veins. A wave of warmth surged through her hands back to Tom. Here they were at crossroads of fear and faith, a gambit of pain and healing. She could feel the energy transforming in her grasp, swelling into something irrefutable, something that might change them all forever. But as the voices of belief rose, shadows lingered at the edge, ready to pounce. Could love overpower the doubt? Or would fear snuff out the light for good? Lily held her breath, her heart a drum of hope, ready to press forward into the unknown. The moment hung in the air, thick with possibility. Tom's eyes shone with determination as he latched onto Lily's radiant glow, drawing strength and hope. In that shared space between them, she could feel him channeling everything he had left, a flicker of will in the face of despair. With every chant, the golden light pulsed, pushing outward, seeking to engulf the crowd in its warmth. Together, she urged, her voice rising above the murmur of doubt and suspicion. "Feel the light, let it into your hearts." But the specter of fear still loomed large. The harsh voice that had sneered before reappeared, brimming with cynicism. "This is mere folly." The words cut through the air like a knife. "You're all wasting your time. She's just toying with you." As many turned their gazes back in uncertainty, Lily pushed through the rising tide of doubt. "You," she said, pointing towards the tall figure, his expression locked in anger. "Have you ever felt real hope? Have you ever dared to believe that something extraordinary could happen?" There was a collective catch of breath as she challenged him. The crowd was now divided, the few who still held on to hope, and those who clung tightly to disbelief. Suddenly, the little girl stepped forward. "Don't listen to him. I believe in Lily." Her voice rang out with a purity that silenced murmurs. It felt like a bell chiming, cutting through the darkness. The girl continued, "You've got to do it, Lily. Show them what you can do." And then it happened. A ripple of energy surged through the crowd, a warmth that began to wrap around those who dared to believe. Lily could see faces softening, shoulders relaxing, as the golden light around her hands flared brighter. "Join us. She called to them, inviting them to be part of this miracle. Let it fill you. Slowly, people began to step forward. One by one, hands reached out, grasping Tom's energy like a lifeline thrown into turbulent waters. Until finally, there was a surge, more than a few, more than a handful. The circle expanded as the crowd began to meld together, forming a web of faith that pulsated with a vibrant light. Hearts beat in synchrony, doubts were pushed aside as they all felt that energy, a taste of the impossible. But what will it cost? The skeptic murmured, but even he faltered under the weight of so many joining together. Is this real? It feels real. Shouted another voice, eyes wide with wonder, tears escaping down cheeks. Lily turned her gaze around the circle, catching the hopeful glimmers in their eyes and the faces brightening with each heartbeat. Tom, feel it, she said, guiding him deeper into that collective energy. Feel the moment. This is where healing begins. A storm swirled, not of chaos, but of acceptance. The tranquil power surged as they fueled Tom. Then, with a burst, redoubled energy gathered around his heart. It began to glow like the dawn breaking after a long night. Lily watched in awe, feeling the rush of emotion washing over her. Here they were, people like her, standing together in unity, brushing against magic, tracing the outlines of hope with their collective voices. Yet, even amidst the light, the darkness still clawed at the edges, encroaching like storm clouds threatening to blot out the sun. Then the air shifted. A sudden crack of tension. The harsh voice broke forth again, trembling with anger. Stop. This is madness. You're all in danger. She'll ruin us all. Lily felt her heart skip. The threat was real. Would their newfound strength be enough to silence the voice of fear forever? With the flames of hope blazing among them, she moved closer to Tom. We are not afraid, she declared, her voice steady, rising against the tide of doubt. Together we stand. Together we heal. As the final words hung in the air, she realized the battle wasn't just for Tom's life, it was for every soul present, for the very belief in something beyond the tangible. Would the chorus of faith drown out the cries of fear? Was this spark strong enough to ignite an unwavering flame, or would they crumble under pressure? Lily gazed into Tom's eyes, feeling. The warmth surged deeper. We've come too far to go back now. The question lingered, heavy and charged. What would the dawn bring? The light swelled around them, wrapping every individual in a cocoon of warmth and belonging. Lily felt it drive through her veins, alive, electric. She could see faces all around her, shifting from skepticism to wonder, spirits awakening as if a spell had been broken. This was more than just Tom's fight, this was a call to everyone present to reclaim a piece of their hope. The air crackled with energy, almost loud in its insistence. Together, she shouted again, the word echoing off the buildings and resonating deep within the hearts of those assembled. We are stronger as one. But the tall figure, the skeptic, didn't back down. This one save you. He spat, voice dripping with venom. You think that warmth can shield you from the truth? She asked nothing but a charade. Lily stood firm, body squared to his, feeling the pulsing light of the crowd at her back. Maybe the truth isn't what you think it is. She shouted back, her heart racing. What if we've been blinded by our fears all along? Suddenly, Tom gasped. The glow around him intensified, a beacon pushing against the darkness. It revealed not only his face but also the faces of those who had chosen to believe, their illuminated smiles shining brighter than any sun. See? Someone said softly, voice barely a whisper. Look at him. Lily glanced over and felt tears well up in her eyes. Tom's expression had shifted, the fear, the pain gone. In its place was a profound serenity, as if he had finally found a place to rest. His heart, once weighted down, now shimmered like a newly ignited star. A collective inhale rippled through the crowd, magnifying the light spilling out from Tom. Those who had stepped forward felt the warmth against their skin, a sensation unlike anything they had known. Hope wasn't just a word, it was a tangible force. The little girl, still standing by her side with unwavering faith, spoke again. "Lily, do more. Shine brighter." And that was all it took. Taking a deep breath, Lily raised her arms higher. She let the energy surround her, she could feel the pulse of every heartbeat around her matching her own. "We will not be afraid," she cried out, her voice slicing through the darkness. "We will stand together." At that exquisite moment, as if summoned by her call, a surge of brilliance exploded outward, cascading in luminous waves across the crowd. Gasps of surprise and awe echoed as the stark shadows began to shrivel under the light. But the skeptics remained stubborn, clutching their disbelief like a lifeline. "You'll regret this," he shouted. "You'll bring us ruin." Yet even as those words left his lips, something shifted. One by one, those who doubted began to find their resolution. A man stepped forward, arms outstretched, mirroring the light that enveloped them. "You have no power here," his voice resonated, shaky but undeniable. Little by little, the barrier of fear began to crack, splinter by splinter. Other voices joined, filling the air with a chorus of belief. "We choose hope. We choose to believe." Lily felt the golden light radiate from her, intermingling with Tom's and merging with the crowd's collective will, a force of sheer humanity pushing back against fear. Each invocation strengthened their bond, whispered promises of recovery, of love, of connection. "Together," she whispered, resting her hand on Tom's glowing chest. "Together, we are unstoppable." None of them was prepared for the next moment though. As their voices rose higher, a cold, dark shadow rolled in, less a physical being and more an essence of despair that sought to drown their harmony. "Stop! Don't you understand?" The voice shrieked from the shadows, growing more furious. "You think joy can battle darkness? You think this foolishness will save him?" Lily felt the earth tremble beneath her, but she stood tall. Could they really combat that darkness? Would the light they held burn brightly enough? In that moment, she made a vow to herself and everyone around her. "We will fight," she declared fiercely, her determination unwavering. But as the murmur of doubt returned, threatening to claw its way back into the hearts of her newfound allies, she wondered. Could their unity withstand this approaching storm? And so, with every pulse of hope filling the air, they prepared for the battle that lay ahead, the moment they all knew would define their destinies. What would happen if they faltered? The darkness rolled in like a thick fog, wrapping around them with an icy grip. Lily blinked, trying to clear the haze filling her mind. The shadows seemed to pulse, a sinister heartbeat mocking the light she fought to uphold. Fear danced at the edges of her resolve, whispering insidious doubts that crept inside her head. What if it's too much? But then she felt it, the warmth radiating off Tom, the hearts of those surrounding her beating as one. They were more than just bodies in a crowd, they were a living force. A flicker of hope ignited within her chest. "We will win," she told herself, and as if answering her silent affirmation, the others lifted their voices again, merging their spirits into one powerful sound. "Together. Together." With each chant, the oppressive darkness began to tremble. What felt like a bottomless pit of despair began to crack, revealing glimpses of color, of life just beyond. Lily opened her eyes wide, focused on the light, the unity that surged forth. Yet the skeptic's voice echoed, sharper than before. "You are naive. You stand on a foundation of dreams. What you feel is fleeting." There was a madness in his eyes, a twisted kind of desperation. He was grasping for something to hold on to, and in that moment, Lily recognized the truth. "This isn't just about us," she shouted, her voice cutting through the noise. "This is about everyone who has felt discarded, everyone who has faced despair. This is for every dream that was snuffed out." The light pulsed in agreement, rippling outward like a wave. A second later, she felt a surge of energy behind her as more and more people, drawn by the rising tide of belief, pushed toward the front. "I choose to believe." Tom suddenly cried out, louder than any other voice there. His eyes sparkled with an intensity that seemed to spark the air around them. The crowd erupted in response, a chant filled with newfound vigor. Wounded spirits gathered strength. The heavy weight of doubt began to lift, revealing a tapestry of glowing faces, each one unique, each one a part of the whole. But just as hope seemed poised to conquer, the dark voice tightened around them. "You think you can save him? You've only just begun to unleash the storm. Your cries are nothing but echoes of defeat." The ground began to quake, and the air thickened, tinged with a sharp bitterness. Lily stumbled but steadied herself, gripping Tom's hand tighter. "No!" she shouted, her heart racing. "We have fought too long. We won. Back down." Tom's grip tightened in return, and a wave of light erupted from their connection, illuminating even the darkest corners. Lily felt the power surge, fueled by every soul willing to hope. It was a brilliant force binding them together, one that intertwined hope and love, resilience and strength. They weren't just pacing through the shadows, they were actively dismantling them. Together. She shouted once more, each syllable a hammer striking against the darkness. "Remember why you stand here. We will not falter. We will not forget our strength." In response, a rumble overcame the dark voice, less a roar and more a whisper of uncertainty. The shadows seemed to flicker, shifting with every pulse of their collective resolve. Lily's heart soared. This was the moment of truth, she could feel it in her bones. But as they pressed forward, the upcoming clash sent a chill down her spine. Would they break through the darkness, or would they be swallowed by it? The intensity in the air thickened once more as shadows began to buckle. But just as the light threatened to engulf fully, a figure emerged from the dark, a flash of white against the black. It stood resolute, eyes glowing, amidst the chaos. And the look it wore was neither ally nor enemy. "What is that?" Lily whispered, a trembling uncertainty creeping into her voice. Had their battle only just begun, or was this a path to a deeper truth? Would they finally find calm, or would the storm escalate beyond any of their fears? The figure in the shadows stepped forward, revealing a girl no older than Lily. She was slender, with tangled hair cascading down her shoulders, glowing with an ethereal light against the encroaching darkness. Her eyes, fierce and filled with a depth that suggested understanding far beyond her years, held Lily's gaze. The murmurs of the crowd faded, the fertile ground of camaraderie suddenly shifting beneath them. "Why do you call to me?" the girl asked, her voice steady yet tinged with sorrow. "You believe in light, yet I have been cast away, marked as a witch. Do you think such a label carries weight?" Lily felt the air thicken, pressing against her chest. "You're not a witch," she blurted out, conviction filling her voice. "You're someone who knows the pain we all share. You felt the darkness, just like us." "I've tasted the bitterness of betrayal and loneliness," the girl replied, stepping closer. The vibrations of her words resonated deep within Lily's heart. "But my power was not born from darkness but from healing. You seek to dispel the shadows with strength alone. What if I told you that to truly conquer them, you must first embrace the pain?" A ripple of confusion spread through the crowd. The energy that once surged like an unyielding tide felt uncertain now, caught between faith and doubt. Suddenly, the whispers of fear growled louder. "What does she mean?" A woman near the front pressed, clutching onto her child. "Those who embrace darkness, what good can they bring?" The girl held up her hands. "Listen, every soul has faced its storm. To carry its burden is not weakness, it is strength. It is what bonds us." Her gaze swept across the gathering, lighting up faces that bore the same story of struggle and survival. Lily's heart raced as threads of understanding began to weave together. "We have to embrace our struggles," she murmured, half to herself, half to the crowd. "If we accept our fear and use it, we can transform it into something powerful, something beautiful." "Yes," the girl affirmed, the aura surrounding her brightening. Only when you mend those cracks in your spirit can you stand unyielding against the shadows. We are all broken in some way, but that doesn't make us powerless. The darkness continued to twist and spin around them, but Lily could feel something shift. There was strength rising, a collective heartbeat that echoed hope, acceptance, and the desire for healing. Together. She shouted again, emboldened by this new understanding. Together, we will explore our shadows, unearth our pain, and rise with it. Tom squeezed her hand, a bright smile breaking across his face. They weren't just fighting against the darkness anymore, they were facing it head-on, with their scars laid bare. As the chants of unity echoed once more, the girls stepped back, becoming a catalyst for transformation. The darkness roared, furious at their growing strength, and yet, for the first time, Lily felt an undercurrent of calm. "Let us face our fears, together," she cried. "Let our wounds tell our story, fill them with light." With every voice raised, a wave of energy ignited, illuminating the ground beneath their feet. But just as the dark figure lost form, a crackle of energy shot through the crowd, a hum of resistance against something far larger than they anticipated. "Can you feel it?" The girl whispered, her eyes widening with realization. "Something stirs within the shadows." The ground shook violently beneath them. Lily felt the air shift, it was both terrifying and exhilarating. Will we prevail, or is there a deeper shadow waiting to engulf us? A flicker of uncertainty danced across her heart, but she wouldn't let it consume her. "Do not waver," she shouted, rallying the intense energy radiating from the crowd. "Together, we heal. Together, we rise." But in that moment of unity, a dark tendril surged up from the ground, a physical manifestation of their fears. It swirled ominously, threatening to push back against the light they had cultivated. What if this was just the beginning? Lily thought, her pulse racing. What waited for them beyond this defiant stand? Would they truly embrace their darkness, or would it be the end of their fight for light? Lily braced herself as the tendril twisted closer, a dark serpent weaving between her and the crowd. Panic rippled through the gathering, faces drawn tight with fear. She could hear the quickening breaths, the frantic whispers of what to do next, and the thudding heartbeat in her ears. There was no turning back, they had summoned this darkness together, and they would have to face it. "Stay with me," Lily shouted, trying to lock eyes with as many in the crowd as she could. "This is our moment. Remember what brought us here." The girl with the glowing aura stepped forward, unfazed by the ominous shadow. "This is not just your fight, but ours," she cried, her voice ringing clear amid the chaos. "Draw on your pain. Every hurt, every loss, transform it into strength." There was something undeniably powerful in her words. With a deep breath, Lily tried to channel the anguish she had felt, the loneliness when her father's abandon stung, the moments of doubt when she felt utterly lost. The crowd stood still, fixated on the tendril that coiled like a viper, and she could feel the collective energy shift. One by one, people began to share their stories. A man stepped out of the throng, shaking but resolute. "I lost my brother to darkness once," he shouted, tears streaming down his face. "I won't let it claim any more." His words acted like a catalyst. Another woman followed, voice trembling as she recounted her struggle with depression, the nights spent grappling with shadows of her own. Each person added their pain to the rising tide, their vulnerabilities lighting the space around them. "Keep going," the girl cried, her presence radiating warmth despite the chill in the air. "Feel the weight of your burdens, don't let them drown you. Let us make them the flames that will burn away the darkness." In that moment, a beautiful thing happened. The energy of the crowd shifted. It felt as if they were painting the air with their hurt, transforming it into a radiant light. Lily could see it, a flickering warmth that began to dance and burst around them, pushing back against the shadows. The tendril writhed in protest, but their united voices grew louder, more fervent. "We are not alone," Lily shouted, drawing on the strength of every person around her. The girl lifted her arms, and suddenly, light erupted from her palms, illuminating the faces of the crowd. It's okay to be afraid. Together, we can break through. With that, the crowd surged, pouring their hearts into the light they had created. They turned pain into purpose, transforming vulnerability into power. The darkness seemed to shrink, shrinking back from the collective strength they had manifested. Yet, just as victory felt within reach, the dark shape roared, tendrils thickening into a monstrous form, looming larger than before. "Get ready!" The girl shouted as the ground shook again, threatening to swallow them whole. This is only the beginning of the fight. Lily felt icy fingers of fear grip her heart again, but she steadied herself. We've come too far to turn back. We have to face whatever this is. As the crowd rallied once more, determination shining in their eyes, Lily realized they weren't just fighting the darkness outside but also embracing their own shadows that crafted their strength. But what awaited them beyond this struggle? Would they emerge into the light, or would the darkness prove too strong? "Stand firm!" she cried, her voice rising over the chaos. "We are more than our fears." But even as those words left her lips, she could feel the weight of uncertainty hanging in the air like a storm cloud, ready to unleash its fury. What would happen next? Would the shadows finally be cleared, or would they deepen into something far more sinister? The murmur of the crowd surged like the tides as the dark form twisted above them, an ominous silhouette casting fear deep into the hearts of the people. But among the palpable tension, a flicker of courage ignited a simultaneous understanding that their collective strength could transcend the shadows. Lily's breath came in quick bursts, her heart pounding under the weight of this defining moment. "Together!" she shouted once more, channeling every ounce of conviction she had into those words. "Together, we can face this darkness. We've overcome so much already." As if responding to her rallying cry, Tom tightened his grip on her hand, his warmth spreading through her like a beacon of hope. The girl beside them, glowing with ethereal light, lifted her arms higher. "Let the light that resides within you rise. Let it engulf the shadows and transform your fears into fire." The words burned like grace, igniting the atmosphere with fierce determination. One by one, the townsfolk began to lift their voices, echoing in unison a symphony of resilience rising from their hearts, prying open the chasms of uncertainty. "I'll share my story," shouted the young man who had lost a brother. "He taught me that love doesn't die, it endures. I won't let grief win." The warmth from his sentiments spread through the gathering like wildfire, igniting more declarations, each story strengthening the threads of courage binding them. A chorus of voices brimming with truth filled the air: the woman who faced her own demons, the child who had battled illness, the mother who had lost but learned to love again. Each shared pain became a brick in the wall of their newfound strength. "Feel your heart," the girl urged, spinning in the center of the gathering. "Let every ounce of sorrow be a force to push back against the darkness. Trust in your light." Once again, Lily discerned the shadows shivering, gnashing angrily as the collective strength began to radiate like a sunrise, pushing back against the overwhelming darkness. The tendril that threatened to consume them recoiled, quaking as though it felt the power of their united will. "Look!" Tom shouted, pointing toward the dark form as it rippled, threatening to dissolve. "We can conquer this. We can rewrite our story." Lily felt it in her bones: this was the moment to press on. "Open your hearts. Embrace the light," she cried, feeling her own spirit intertwine with those around her. It was no longer just about her, it was about every single individual standing there, every scarred heart beating for something greater. As she raised her arms high, she felt the sensation building like a wild storm gathering to unleash its thunder, and she saw the light emanating from the crowd fuse into a golden orb that began to swallow the darkness whole. It pulsed and surged forward, striking at the tendrils, illuminating the faces of everyone with newfound strength. "Together!" they all shouted, the echoes of their voices melding into an awe-inspiring crescendo. The light pushed deeper, drawing upon the collective memories of joy and pain, morphing into a powerful force that shot out against the creeping shadows, illuminating every inch of darkness that lingered. Just as hope seemed almost tangible, the dark form twisted violently, its remnants fighting against the glorious light they had cultivated, but it was too late. The shadows began to fracture, scattered by the waves of warmth radiating from their joined spirits. Lily watched, breathless, as one final pulse resonated throughout the crowd, anchoring their belief. The shadows dissipated in a brilliant flash, their remnants lost to the brilliance of light they had created together. An overwhelming silence fell over Maple Street, a hush echoing in the aftermath of their victory. And then, like the dawn breaking after a long night, laughter erupted, joy spilling forth as townsfolk shared in the fruition of their fears turning into power. They began to embrace one another, tears of healing spilling down their faces, laughter mingling with cries of triumph. "I knew we could do it," Tom said, grinning from ear to ear, warmth capturing the moment in his voice. "We're free." Lily inhaled deeply, her chest swelling with elation. She felt the rich warmth of belonging, a sense of purpose ignited in every heartbeat. "This is just the beginning," she whispered, her gaze sweeping over the faces of those who once cast judgment but who now stood united with her. The girl in the glowing aura stepped closer, her ethereal light shimmering like starlight. "Together, remember. This is only the start of learning to embrace your truths. In your vulnerability lies your strength." The crowd echoed the sentiment, a collective promise forged in the fires of healing and unity. In that moment, hope filled the hollow spaces once claimed by despair, binding them not just in triumph over darkness but in their shared humanity. They had faced the impossible and emerged stronger not by defeating their shadows but by embracing their truth. "Let us nurture this light," Lily said, her heart soaring. "Let us share our stories and grow together." And as Maple Street began to flourish once more, flowers blooming with every step, a new chapter beckoned for all of them, a testament to love, resilience, and the illuminating power of community. This is where their journey truly began. Now more than ever, the world needed stories like theirs, powerful reminders of the strength that resides in vulnerability. So, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support and leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your engagement can inspire more transformations like Lily's. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. What did this story mean to you? And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this inspiring transformation. Unity can change everything, and it starts with each one of you.